Over the last years, we've been growing our own food in an organic way, and we get to eat farm fresh food from our farm. That's one of the most exciting things that we enjoy in our rural home, growing our own food in a very organic manner, preparing our own compost, as well as keeping our own chicken to give us the compost. Today, we'll be taking you through some of the harvest that we are doing this season, and we hope that you're going to enjoy this video. So one of the things that we have plenty of on the farm is these pepper plants. And it's because we have a lot of chicken. So we have like several on different beds and different areas of the farm. So we are going to harvest some peppers to give to our chicken. We don't really take the pepper ourselves because we don't like very hot food. Yeah, but for now we just use them for our chicken. So if you've watched our previous videos, you know that we use the pepper in the chicken's food. Sorry, in the chicken's water. They tend not to feel the hotness of the pepper, so they even eat the pepper itself. So as a chicken farmer, pepper is one of the most important plants you should have. Apart from now other things like aloe vera, pepper is also one of the plants you should have, and ginger and garlic. And this is because those particular crops they help to build the immunity of your chicken. So that's why whenever we have pepper on the farm, we always give it to our chicken, and also aloe vera. Currently, we don't have ginger, so we always buy, and also garlic. We currently don't have mature garlic, so we always buy that for them. So as we continue to harvest, I just wanted to show you the progress of one of our most recent beds that we did. On this area, we used to have a lot of erosion, and really nothing ever used to grow. It's also close to some blue gum trees. So we built a raised bed, not the perfect one because it's a bit too wide. So at some point, somebody has to go inside. But we can see that it's doing pretty well. We have some tomatoes, we have some kales, and then we have some beetroot and some spinach and some carrots. It's doing pretty well. And of course, now we have some volunteer maize plants. We didn't plant those ones. So I'm really waiting to see what kind of harvest we are going to be getting from this area, given that we never really used to get much from here. But now it looks like there's quite some hope because of the raised beds that we did. And that's one of the advantages of raised beds that we've mentioned on our farm, that they help us to control erosion because our land is a bit slanted. It's almost like on top of a hill. So that's why at least we can see some growth over here. No erosion, and this has really, I think it's going to be quite productive, this raised bed. So this season we've also grown quite a number of eggplant, this variety. Previously we had the elongated one, the one that forms this shape. But this time round we have this variety on different beds, and this is one of the first fruits that I've actually seen. The other plants are quite smaller than this one, so really looking forward to harvest a lot of eggplant. But for now, we just have this one that is ready. It's quite big actually. So the next thing that we are going to get is some green maize, which we really like. It's quite a distance from where we are right now. So we are going to walk to that piece of land, get some green maize that we'll use as a snack. So by now, most of our maize is actually ready. Remember that we've mentioned before that our maize is actually yellow. We harvested we planted some of what we harvested from the leased land that we had previously. We haven't used any synthetic fertilizers, and you can see, look at this very big uh, maize that we are currently harvesting, and most of the maize right now is actually mature. So it's actually really possible to grow your food organically without having to use those chemicals on your farm. So we're going to get a few green maize that we'll use for a snack. So we've actually noticed that some of the maize have started drying, and we think by either late January or early February, we will be harvesting most of the maize as it will have dried, uh, and we can store it over a long period of time because it will because drying usually adds the shelf life of maize. So for that maize, we can consume over a prolonged period of time and even share it with our chicken. Now, for the green maize, we always just harvest on need basis. So if we need it today, then we are going to harvest today and consume the same day. I'm not sure how long green maize can stay without getting bad, but for us, we always just harvest on need basis. So now, one of the things that we've mentioned about before is that we we did arrowroots on the upper part of the farm where we just came from, where we were harvesting the pepper, and we decided to try them down here, and they did perfectly well. In fact, these ones are quite small. We have a bigger lot that we are going to show you, doing very, very, very well. And next to them, we have the cassavas. Where we planted the cassavas is there's a lot of soil erosion on this land. So just to hold the soil a bit on this area. On the upper part, we've done, instead of the cassavas here, we've done sweet potatoes just to be able to hold the soil a bit. Yeah. So we've just shown you the smaller arrowroots, and then now we have these massive arrowroots that actually they've grown bigger than the original place where we had our arrowroots. And actually, what we've been wondering is, can the size of the arrowroot plant determine whether it's ready or not? Because usually we harvest after about 6 months or so, but these ones have only been here for 4 months. I think 4 to 4.5 months, and look at how humongous they look. So if you grown arrowroots before and they've grown to this size, you can tell us whether this actually determines that we have quite some sizable arrowroots uh, to harvest. And you can see even the multiple production. Look at this one here. We planted one arrowroot, and now we have about 5 or 6 arrowroots that have already been produced next to it. So we are really amazed by this part of the land, although part of the contribution to them being this humongous is because of, again, the erosion of topsoil from the upper part of the farm. But again, this is also the place where our maize has done superbly well. So we, even without using chemical fertilizers and with the little manure that we had, we have been able to achieve quite a lot on this farm. So we are now back to the upper part of the farm. We just finished harvesting the maize. Now we are going to pick some pumpkin. And actually, They are quite heavy. I suppose this could be about 2 kgs. I'm actually amazed by this plant because the very first pumpkin that it produced, it actually rot, but the other pumpkins have really survived. We've not had any other case of rot. We didn't do any sort of intervention. We were not sure what the issue was, but it's producing very humongous pumpkins. So let me just harvest. This is one of them, and I'll get a couple more. They're quite heavy, these pumpkins. Yeah, and they look really healthy. I don't know whether people use any chemicals on pumpkins, but we don't do it. We didn't use anything. We also didn't add any manure because we didn't have enough, but they've done quite well. So we've finished harvesting the pumpkin, and now I want to harvest some potatoes. This place is quite slanted, so I tried to create some mounds of soil. That's why I planted the potatoes. Uh, the mounds were actually dismantled because of the erosion, but hopefully we'll get some potatoes. In the lower part of the farm where we just harvested the maize, we also had potatoes on one of the areas, and they were really affected by the underground, is it a mole or a mice, that ate most of them. So we only harvested a few. So we'll see what we get from this. This was a small part, so we'll see what we get from here. So I'm not sure what's happening, but it looks as though I let them stay for too long because I can see some of them have started becoming green again. I'm not quite sure. If you know what's happening, you can let us know in the comment section. Same thing. These are very big potato, but it was also started getting green. I'm not sure what it could be. Maybe we let them stay for too long. I'm not very sure. You can let us know in the comment section. So I think it's not such a bad harvest, given it's a very small area and also the amount of erosion that we had. And again, if you know, I'm not sure why they started getting green before we harvested. Did we stay for too long before harvesting, or what could be the issue? Then we also had this kind of potatoes. It looks like they start rotting. I've seen quite a number of them which I've thrown away. So I'm not quite sure also what the issue is. You can let us know in the comment section. So we just finished harvesting the potatoes, and I can see we have like 2 big beetroots. We had planted quite a bit of beetroots on this bucket, harvested a few. Some are quite small, but I see some 2 big ones that I can harvest for today. So I'm just going to pick them now. So it looks as though one of them is not actually edible. And I'm not sure what happened here. Yeah, but it doesn't look edible. It was the biggest that we had right now. Most of the beetroots, they look a bit unhealthy, the ones in the bucket, but most of the beetroots in the other beds are quite small. So these are the biggest at the moment. So one of the activities that keeps us most active on the farm is weeding. Especially now that it's been raining for a while, you can see there are a lot of weeds. We weed by section, small sections, because when you have a full-time job and you have to still manage the farm, then you have very limited time to do the weeding. So we usually weed by section, and we've been away actually from the farm for a while now. So the whole farm needs quite a bit of work. So we'll be getting into that through the week. But finally, let me just harvest some spring onions, and then we'll be done for today's harvest. So this should be enough for using at the moment. Spring onions are one of those foods that we haven't bought in the last 2 years. So it's one of those things that I'm actually proud of, because we get to harvest everything. All the spring onions we use, we harvest them from our farm. So we just finished harvesting. You can see how beautiful my hands look. But I just want to tell you one of the other advantages of living in a farm. One of the things that we've come to experience and also be part of is sharing among neighbors. And you can see these beautiful avocados being given by one of our neighbors. And we also get to share with them some of the things that we grow, like sugarcane, sometimes pumpkin. So it's a very nice way of the community sharing. It's one of the beautiful aspects of rural life. So I hope you enjoyed today's video like we did. I think today we harvested over 10 kilograms of food, and we are really grateful for having this beautiful experience at the farm. And we hope that if you've not started yours, you can get inspiration from us. And even if and if you have any sort of tips for us for any upcoming self-sufficiency farmers, please leave them in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.